difference between Scoob and I was, for Scoob had this air about him.
Yeah.
Where like, if you met him for the first time, I would watch this. I've watched this happen a million times.
Hey.
People would meet Scoob for the first time and then tell him everything about their lives, like they've known him for forever. And he just had that about him, and it's a rare thing to have. And everybody felt like he was their best friend.
If you're alive, subscribe. If you're alive, subscribe. You know I always got to start off with that so y'all can learn the name. I want y'all to kind of share the name. I always ask y'all to share my video. Push the subscribe button. It's free. And the only reason I say that is because a lot of people, like, they don't know that. My homegirl was like, P, how much do it cost to subscribe to your channel? I said, it's free. It's free. And so push the subscribe button and share it. If you like it, share it to your friends. Press the like button. Leave me a comment. I know you be wanting to say stuff people don't understand. Like right there in the comment section, press comment, and I talk back. When you say something to me, it don't matter if it's okay, negative, you giving me my flowers, I'll talk back to you. So leave me something. And I want to start off this show, man. Rest in peace, Lil Ski, man. Y'all know me. Y'all know that I love the rap community. I'm always fighting for the hip hop community. I understand we got great artists in Nashville. I always tell all my artists, please bring it together. We're not in no competition. Like, it's enough people for all of us. It's enough. Your fans will support me. My fans will support you. And so I just want to lift up the rap community, man. We lost a legend. And this is why I say he a legend, because he's one of the young guys that, like, I foreseen going high places. And so shout out to his daddy, Sleazy E, man. Lil E, man, we praying for you. And we're going to make sure we hold Ski up, man. Last night, brung in the New Year's with him. I got a video I'm gonna show y'all, man, and the crowd was going crazy, and he, you know, on his song and stuff. So again, rest in peace, Lil Ski. Y'all know my show, the If You're Alive, Subscribe show. It's not a negative show. It's a positive show. My main guests, I always say I want to be the people that I know, the people that I love. Today I got a guest. Everybody I bring on, I'm giving them their flowers. Like, I ain't never bashing nobody or trying to discredit nobody. I understand. I always think about Jesus. And I think about Jesus always saying, like, we are all sin. Everybody, we don't get it right the first time. Might not get it right the second time, but we always got another chance to get it right. But my guest today, I'm giving him his flowers because this is the one person that had Quanie on his radio station for 9 years. He could have got Dolewite and Scooby. I know y'all gonna be jealous because he on my show. But anyway, Dolewite and Scooby, no matter what you say, no matter how you feel about them, even though they had to go by a scheme of the radio station, you know, it's your job. I don't care who you are. When you go to work, you have to abide by the work policies. It's not your business. But outside of that, these guys has always supported the Nashville artists and has always shined light on them, has always showed me love. I was telling Quanie the other day, he asked me, why did you always used to book Dolewite and Scooby? He wasn't saying the bad thing. He was trying to figure out. I said, because they work for the radio station. Who else on my book? So shout out to my boy Dolewite. He's here and in the building, in the flesh. What's good?
What's good, bro? I appreciate you having me, homie.
Just, man, when I saw you, and first I said, Dolewite, when you on my show? You said you ain't asked me.
I saw the clips. They look good. I'm like, yo, like, hey, I'll just wait. You give me my turn.
Okay. And so I said, hey, I'm a DM you tomorrow, and we'll set up a date. And we set up a date, and he's here. And so, Dolewite, how's everything been going? I think the family has just done had you. That little girl of yours.
Yeah, like, she got me, man. She got me.
So how does that change? How did that change your whole career? Because we'll talk about before the marriage and the relationship.
So I think even more than marriage, I think fatherhood took me probably out of like being at the club a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you know, I had a good run, you know what I'm saying?
You did.
I was there for a long time, you know, with hosting, DJing, or even when I was single, like if I wasn't hosting, I wasn't DJing, I was just showing up, you know what I mean? What else am I going to do, you know what I mean? Especially when you get off work at midnight, you know what I mean? Like Scooby and I did nights for 10 straight years. So like I wasn't getting off work till 12. And so it's like,
from the radio station to work.
Yeah. So if I wasn't DJing or I wasn't hosting, I would go. And so a lot of that you get a little burnout from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I had my little girl, I was like, first of all, parenthood is hard. It's way harder than anything else I've ever done in my life. So I was like, there's something around
you, because I never saw you having kids. Yeah. What you were going through?
No, I have one child. She has kicked our ass enough to know that we're not having any more kids. You know what I'm saying? We're done. So I was like, all right, something's got to give here. You know, and it's going to. I remember when my wife was pregnant, the last thing I had left, I was doing a live broadcast from Agenda at the time on the radio.
Shout out to Agenda.
Yeah, and I remember they said, look, we're going to take a little hiatus for about 6 weeks. And I remember week 1, it was the first Saturday night I think I'd ever been off in like 20 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this since I was 18 years old. I'm like, I've never been off on a Saturday night before. And I was like, oh, this is nice. And then the second one was like, I could get used to this. And by the third one, I was like, yeah, I'm never going back again. Like, I'm done with this. And so like, I gave it to the young guys at the time. It was Zach Boog and Tui. I was like, you guys can have this broadcast. I'm going to sit down for a little while. And I did. And I ended up starting to miss it a little bit. And then 2020 came around and I hit Crisis up. I'm like, yo, like I'll do a New Year's Eve party. I just want to do a set. Like this is in me. This is in my blood. It's in my DNA. This is who I am. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. We did a dope New Year's Eve night. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna be back. And then the pandemic hit. And I'm like, oh, you're not back because everything shut down. You're done. And so like this year I kind of came back. I'm doing a little happy hour now and I love it, man. Like I'm back, I'm home at a decent hour. And I missed DJing. I missed that part of my life.
PH Craft on Fridays, right?
It's PH Craft Cocktails on Fridays. I'm there from 5 to 7. I do all Afro beats from 5
Shout out to
6.
Deshaun too.
Yeah, Deshaun. Deshaun throws that with me, and it's really just good vibes, man. It's different, something different that I've done before, but also like it kind of scratches that itch of like DJing. Like I need to do it.
I want to ask you this, Dolo. With you being the high status as you are, like nobody, I don't care what nobody say. You know, Dolewite and Scooby, y'all always like was the go-to guys. And coming in when we were single, I'm gonna say we. Yeah. When Dolewite and Scooby need their bottles at the DJ booth, you know what I'm saying? But with wifey coming in, how was that a transition? Kind of like, now I got like a woman, like with her, like you know who you are.
The wild thing for me was, first of all, I'd never really been in a real relationship before.
I never seen you in one.
I enjoyed myself and had a good time, and my wife comes in. I remember, I never forget this, man. Women love my wife, bro. They love my wife. And I remember I was still DJing like 4 nights a week. I mean, it's the height of my DJing career at this point. Like I'm 4 nights a week at this point. And I remember I'd see a girl come up to the DJ booth or whatever. I'd be like, oh, here we go. I'm going to tell her like I got a girl or whatever. And women would always come up to me and be like, hey, I love your girlfriend. And I'd be like, oh, yeah.
You thinking
okay? Yeah, I'm thinking she's trying to holler at me, but she's like, nah, like we love your girlfriend. So for me, it was different, but it was a good different. You know what I mean? It was something I had never experienced before, and 11 years later, we married, 8 years now. So yeah, 1 kid, we're good.
Man, look, I want to pick on somebody real quick.
Okay,
I want to pick on Joe Major. I have a problem with Joe Major.
Okay,
and not in a bad way.
Okay.
Joe Major always calls you white, and you're not white.
I am white.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Not to us.
That's fair, but no.
No, but Joe Major, you always say the white boy.
He looks every day, finds a way to bring up the fact that I'm white.
That's what I'm saying.
Every day.
And so we on the other side of the radio, like, Dolewite is not white. He's more blacker than us. You know what I'm saying? And so, how did that relationship transpire with you and Joe Major? Because, like, it's dope, and we'll talk about it's dope. Like, how did that?
So Joe was a guy that when I got hired as PD, like we needed some people, and Joe was out hosting a lot of parties, and I was like, let's bring this kid in and kind of see what he's about, see what he can do. And over the years, I mean, I had the Beat the White Man a Black trivia game. Tui did it at first, then Zach did it, and Zach went on to bigger and better things. You know what I'm saying? And so Joe was there. I'm like, yo, let's do this. And over time, it just kind of progressed. And I always appreciate his opinions. I always appreciate where his head is at. If we're talking about something serious or if we're talking about something funny, he's very. I disagree with him on a lot of things, and I think that
I think it works.
Yeah, it works. And you know, Scoob and I disagreed on a lot of things, but Scoob and I knew it was Scoob and I had this thing where, like, if you talk to us off air, you talk to us on air, we're exactly the same. Right. So like, we never put on for the radio.
It's really like, to be honest with you, Scoob, and we'll talk about him in a second. Yeah. But it's really like y'all was like one person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's really like
people still will be like, hey, Scooby. I'm like, what up, man? I answer, you know? I'm like, what up, man? Like, what's happening? Yeah.
And again, shout out to Joe Major, but Dolewite ain't white, just to let you know you ain't been. But and so Dolewite, I want to ask you, when I was in, I gotta say this, I was in jail when Scoob died. And for some reason I always think about DJ Butterfly. And so we was like in there crying and stuff, just being a man, and like, because Scoob was really, really close to like Dolewite,
Bruh, the difference between Scoob and I was, for Scoob had this air about him. Yeah. Where, like, if you met him for the first time, I would watch this. I've watched this happen a million times. People would meet Scoob for the first time and then tell him everything about their lives, like they've known him for forever. And he just had that about him, and it's a rare thing to have. And everybody felt like he was their best friend. Man, he made you feel that way.
I put up to the radio station one day, and I was paying them because this is a shout out to me. Every time, I don't know if you remember, every time we paid y'all DMG, we just paid y'all the whole thing, because we were like, why are we gonna pay y'all half and then half when we know y'all coming? And every time Scoob was like, well, come on upstairs. So it was just like people looking at, we coming in the radio station like, yeah, we finna come up upstairs. Like, who we Scoob told us to come here, and he was so, you know what I'm saying, welcoming. You know what I'm saying?
He was a very welcoming person. I think it's a perfect word. He was welcoming, almost beyond anybody else I've ever met in my life, man.
Shout out to DJ Butterfly. I was in jail at the time, and I was sad because I wanted to just kind of be out there for him. Of course. And DJ Butterfly said this. She said she was on when it happened. It was on the radio. She was like, she used to always ask Scoob, like, you can do anything you want to do. Why are you just stuck at 101.1? And this was Scoob told her. Scoob said, because I love my boss, Pamela Anise. Wow. And he was like, yeah, I know I can go anywhere, but how's Pamela Anise doing? And how is she still there at the radio station?
She's not. She's not there. I believe she's out in Knoxville. It's been a minute since I talked to her. She hit me up over the summer because she found like one of our old business cards. And she hit me up then, and she hit me up. My father passed in June of 2022, and she hit me up and you know, sent her condolences. But it's funny you brought that up because of all the time that we've been here, which is 22 years now for me. We only almost left Nashville one time. Okay. And we had
It's exclusive.
Yeah,
this is exclusive.
One time, and we had a job opportunity in St. Louis with the same company, and they were going to pay us double to triple what we were making at the time. And we were going to do a morning show in St. Louis, and they offered us this gig, and we were going to take it. And at the time, during that whole thing, while we were discussing all of this stuff, Scoob's great grandmother passed away. Okay. His great grandmother raised him. Had a big hand in raising him. You know what I'm saying?
You can tell a woman raised him.
Yeah.
From who he was.
Yeah. And so he was like, he told me, he was like, look, bro, like, you can go if you want. I can't move right now. I'm hurt. I can't move right now. I'm like, ain't no me going. Ain't me going. Like, I'm not gonna go up there. So I was like, that was it. You know what I mean? That was the only time we came close to leave. I think that was probably 06.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it's been like, we here in Nashville home.
But I want them to, like, shout out to Scoo again, like, one of the people that's not from Nashville.
Yeah.
And that's so missed. Like, what actually, how did Scoob die? You know what I'm saying?
He had a rare disease that he didn't know he had. It's called sarcoidosis. It's the same thing Bernie Mac died of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you hear me every night when I sign off, I say stop sarcoidosis.
Yeah.
Every night.
My brother Scoob.
Yeah.
It hurt me every time I hear it, just to be honest.
And so he had this, he didn't know he had it. He went up to Detroit for his nephew's first birthday party. And so he flies to Detroit. I remember this crazy because the night before that, we were doing Thursday nights at Maya at the time. And Drake came to Thursday night to Maya on a Thursday night. It was wild.
It ain't surprising to me.
Yeah, I was like, it was to me. I was like, yo, Drake's here. Like,
Drake's here.
That's the second time he came to our Thursday night party. But and so Drake came and we were like on a high from, like, you know what I'm saying, just having the biggest artist in the world at the time come to our little Thursday night party. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember that night. He wasn't sure if he was going to come to the club or not. He said he wasn't feeling very, felt like he had like a cold or a flu or something. But he ended up coming. He did his set, and then he took off like early that morning. I don't know if he went to bed or not, but he took off to Detroit early that morning. I remember he hit me Friday night. He was just saying, I forgot what he said. He was just telling me about something that had happened, that he had watched happen in Detroit, in like an Applebee's at Detroit or something. Yeah. Right?
'Cause that's where he's from, right? He's from Detroit.
So he was born in Detroit, and then I think when he was 6, they moved to Atlanta.
Okay.
So he was there, and the next day it was his nephew's birthday party, and so I remember it was like 11 a.m. that morning. I think it was like, never mind, it was 9 a.m. that morning. We're talking about what we're gonna do at the club the next week, and then I didn't think nothing of it. I was about to buy a new house, and so I took a couple friends by the new house. A couple hours later, I think it was like probably like noon, and I got a DM on Twitter from his cousin, and his cousin was like, "Do you know Scoo's mom's number?" And I was like, "Yeah,
why would I?"
Yeah, here it is." And I was start thinking like,
"Why would you ask me that?
Why would he ask me that? Like over DM? Like that's weird. Like especially like his cousin was in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you're supposed to be there with him, and then." Man, probably 15 minutes after that, I got the call from his mom, his aunt, and his niece and his grandmother. They were all together, and they were like just like hysterical. And I'm there at this house that I was just showing friends that I hadn't bought yet. And I told them what had happened, and I'm like, we got to go back to my actual house. And we went back to my house. I ended up I had a call. I asked his mother. I said, Miss Senior, I was like, is there anything like what do I do? Like I don't know. What am I? She was like, can you call people and tell them? And this was one of the hardest things I've had to do because I had, Scoob knew everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like how many phone calls is that? And so I'm sitting here like,
who do I call first?
Who do I call first? Third? Right. And so I'm like calling people. And I'm like dropping this bomb on them.
Man.
And then they're wanting to hang on the phone with me. And I'm like, I gotta go because I gotta call more people because I feel like this news needs to be delivered by somebody that can.
It could be nobody but you,
right? And so I'm like,
you couldn't even call nobody and say call nobody else.
Yeah, so I'm like calling everybody like, hey, this happened. I don't know many details. I'm sorry, but I gotta go. And then I'll call the next person. And so I'm like dropping these bombs on people. And at the same time, one of my homies that was there with me is booking me a flight to Detroit. And I met his girlfriend at the time, Scoop's girlfriend at the time, and her friend in Detroit. And then our Scoop and I's best friend from college, I called him and I could tell he was out of the country. He was traveling back and forth from Japan at the time. And he was in Japan. And I could tell like the way it rang, I was like, he's not in the country. And I called him and he called me back. And then I was like, yo, this happened. I'm on my way to Detroit right now. He hung up the phone and from Japan.
He on the way.
On the way.
I
Dropped everything he did.
It's
and I'll never
cool.
forget that. Like, it's like, yo, like, you really just like.
But for Dolewite, and just in my head at the time, when we heard it, it was like, you got a whole, and I gotta say this for Scoo, you got a whole jail is stressed because everybody's connected to the Dolewite and Scooby show.
Yeah.
And just outside of being the outside, so, and we're thinking like, how does Dolewite go on without Scooby?
I remember, so I go to Detroit, and I remember when I came back, and I told my boss at work, I was like, look, I'm coming in today. I'm not coming in to work. I'm just coming in to say hi. I was like, I don't want anybody to be overly emotional. I don't want people to be hugging on me. None of that. I don't want to lose my shit. I'm going to come in. I'm going to say hi. I'm going to talk on the air for a few minutes, and I'm going to leave. And that's what I want. And they gave me that space. And I appreciate that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't have, I remember I went on air and I talked with my heart. I don't remember what I said. I couldn't tell you to this day what I said, but I do remember before that saying, I don't want people coming up to me and like hugging on me and all that, because I got
too much.
I ain't got it. I ain't got it right now.
Cause this is what I'm thinking, Dolo. Just to be honest with you, I'm thinking like, if this is too much for me, I did a lot of business with you in school,
Right?
And I fell in love with just like, you know, one of my highlights is I be telling guys, yeah, I'm finna holler at Scooby. I'm at the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just not trying to stunt, but that was one of my highlights. Yeah. They were like, yeah, at the radio. I said, yeah, I'm finna go up and holler at Scooby and them. You know what I'm saying? This and that. And so I know, I'm like, if this is kind of hard for me, I know it's
and it was hard on so many levels. It was one, obviously, I lost my best friend, my brother, right?
Facts.
I also lost my business partner. I had never done, Scooby and I had done radio together. We started radio in 1996 at Georgia Southern University. Like, I had never been by myself before. I mean, he'd taken vacation days. I had held the show down. That's spot dates here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had never done this by myself. And then there's that self-doubt. Like, can I do this by myself? What do I do if I cannot do this by myself?
What the hell?
What do
you know what I appreciate about Joe Major? And whether he knows it or not, I don't know if it's intentional. I like that he kind of take a little role from Scooby. You know what I'm saying? Because we always appreciated Scooby mess with you for being the white dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we always look at like, Dolewite's not white. and it's so fun. But I think that's to the highlight of the show for me is not, it ain't about race, but it was about like,
get on each other. It's your homies, bro. It's what you and your people do together. Yeah. We just doing it on air.
We're just doing it on air.
We just got mics in front of us. Bro.
And so we're calling in and stuff, and just like, it's just, and man, I appreciate that you had the strength, because I don't think nobody else in radio, period, point blank, with that relationship with a person, have the strength to keep going. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate you saying that, man. It's wild, because when I think back to it, like, it feels like I was just going. You know what I can't explain it better than that. That I was just like going. It felt like I didn't breathe. You know what I'm saying? I was just like going.
Even when it came to booking the DJs, you could never book Dolewite without Scooby or Scooby without Dolewite.
And what's wild is if you did, we split the money. There was never.
Oh, that's crazy.
We split. That's crazy. Bro, we split every dime. If he had an endorsement that I didn't have, and his check was $200 more from the radio station, he's giving me $100. And vice versa. We split everything. We set it up that way because it was never going. If it was ever a time where like you get more work than me or I'm getting more work than you, there's nobody's feeling any type of way.
Yeah. And I said my boy that when we first started this show, I said, this show ain't about money. You know what I'm saying? This show is about, we want a show and we want to be out there. I said, we can just split everything down the middle. I said, because I understand how big stuff can be. And just, I understand when y'all, with the plans, like y'all knew how big it can be. But what actually brought y'all to Nashville?
All right, so we went to school for both of us for like 4.5 years, and we didn't graduate.
What I go to school for? What I go to school for?
What's wild is I went to school for radio.
Okay.
I went to school for this.
Okay.
But we got so wrapped up in the radio station, promoting clubs, DJing clubs, promoting parties, that we weren't good students, bro. And it just wasn't gonna happen for us. It just wasn't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so like at some point we're just down there because it's the only outlet where we can do radio, where we can throw parties, where we can DJ parties. You know what I'm saying? It's like the only market that we
goes back to the fun that we.
It's just like, and so I remember we had a shot when Ludacris became Ludacris. He was on the radio in Atlanta, right? And so like he got a record deal, and he was leaving the radio. And I remember, I didn't even think we were in college. I thought we had no shot at getting that job, right? So I didn't even think about it. They had started another radio station in Atlanta, and I remember we had a couple friends at Hot in Atlanta, and I remember I texted her. Her name was Tawana James. She was the morning show co-host at the time, and I hit Tawana and I texted her. I'm like, yo, we want to get on this new radio station in Atlanta. What do we do?
What we got to do?
What we got to do? I don't know anything about
you knew
it.
Y'all was ready.
Yeah, I knew that we had something because we had college online. Like people loved us on college. I'm like, all right, if we have a small market sample here in Statesboro, Georgia, at our school, at our university, and people mess with us, we got something here. And so she was like, you need you need to get your resume done. You need to have an air check. And maybe like a portfolio of things that you guys have done in college, pictures, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we was like, cool. And we didn't think nothing of it. She called me 10 minutes later and was like, I need you guys to have this stuff. I need you guys to send me one of these packages. I need you to have it here tomorrow. And I'm like,
that was quick.
I'm like, bro, slow down. Like,
if you alive, subscribe.
Right.
Slow down.
I was like, I just found out what an air check is. And like, now I got to do one in less than 24 hours.
It's still in the 90s, right?
Yeah. Bro, like,
young.
Yeah, and we just found out what this thing was, and now we have to go do one by tomorrow. And so Scoob know everybody, right? It's just, he's like, and people will do anything for him. So he's like, he hit somebody, he was like, I need you to do our resumes. Here's the information. And then he hit somebody else, look, here's some pictures, make this pretty. You know what I'm saying? Like, get us a portfolio done. Right. And then me and him went into this. We went to this tiny studio that they had at the college radio station. And when I tell you, it was a closet, bro. And there was one mic.
But it was Dolewite and Scooby.
It was Dolewite Scooby. And we made this air check, and it was pretty good. Out of this, and it took us all day. And we in there sweating. There was no vents. I mean, it was ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like we got out there like, but we didn't shower.
With me knowing y'all, I know it was like, yeah, this cool. It's like a regular day.
Hey, we're gonna do it. This is what we got to work with. This is what we're gonna work with. And we got done at like 6:45. We made it to the UPS at just in time to overnight everything. Right. And then a week later, they called us and were like, "We want you guys to come in for an interview." And I'm like, out of nowhere,
even
our
though
dreams just coming true.
You're still thinking like it might not happen.
Yeah, like this is not happening, right? And so we get in there. I remember we got dressed up in like slacks and dress shoes, and they're like, "Y'all know this is a hip hop station, right?"
Like,
yeah, I'm like, all right.
Interview.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm in a job interview. They're like, "Y'all know this is a hip hop station, right?" We're like, "Look, man, we young, we don't know this." You know what I'm saying?
We just coming for an interview.
So
subscribe.
I remember they sitting there, and they're like, we're sitting in the program director's office. We answered his questions or whatever, and then Ryan Cameron come in, and Ryan Cameron was doing mornings at Hot at the time, and he was an idol to us. He was a rock star. Like, that was who we grew up listening to. You know what I'm saying? And Ryan came in, and he asked the PD, he's like, "Have you told him yet?" And we're like, "Have you told us what?" And it's 4:00 in the afternoon. He was like, "Oh, I'm putting y'all on air tonight at 6." And we was like, "Bro, what?" We're not ready for this.
We just came for interview.
That's what we in dress clothes and stuff. He was like, "Y'all got 2 hours. Go get some new clothes. Come back." I was like, "Why are y'all still on us about the clothes?" But all right. So we went out, we bought some clothes, and we came back and we did a show that night. And then we drove back to Statesboro. They called us and they're like, "Come back this weekend, do 2 shows." We did 2 shows. And then I remember we kind of knew Luda a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Thanks. And so we had Luda on our college show a couple weeks later. We hadn't heard nothing back because the program director was like, "I want you guys to have this job. I'm not going to start you until after your semester of school's over. I don't think you should drop out of school. I want you guys to transfer to Georgia State. I'm like, I'm not getting into Georgia State, but okay. You're going to tell people what they need to hear. You're like, yeah, I won't drop out of school, sure. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, of course. Would never think about dropping out for my dream job. You know what I mean? And he said, and we were like, okay. And we're sitting here thinking that we're about to take over nights, take over Luda. You know what I mean? And so we had a couple weeks later, we hadn't heard anything, and we had Luda on our college show, and so we did an interview over the phone, and we got off air with him. We're like, man, appreciate it. We're like, hey, if you talk to Daryl, can you tell him to call us? Like, we ain't heard nothing. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh, Daryl took a job in Dallas, and we was like, our hearts just broke, bro.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah. And so we were sitting there like,
because that was y'all go-to guy, right?
That was who was hiring. We had the job no more. We had the job, now we didn't have
him through him.
Through him. Yeah. Now we don't have the job no more. And so like our hearts broke. So after that semester, I dropped out. I was like, I'm done with school. I'm gonna go back home, and I don't know how, but I'm gonna find my way on this radio station. Scoob stayed in school, and I remember the new PD, Jerry Smoking B. He was
shout out to all these guys that gave you a chance, man. That's why I like you named them. Shout out.
Go ahead. Yeah, I got to give them flowers, man. Daryl Johnson.
That's what my show was about, giving them flowers. So shout out to all these guys.
And so Jerry did a live remote from 112 every Friday.
My favorite club.
Yeah, 112.
The real 112, not the one on Peach Street, the one that was.
Yeah, in Buckhead, but I forgot the name of the street. But yeah. So I would go up there every Friday. And I was working at a mailboxes, et cetera, at the time. I was making $7.25 an hour.
Ooh,
I was making
a long time.
Yeah, no.
Minimum wage.
Yeah, it was minimum wage. It was minimum wage. And so I would go to 112 every Friday, and I would talk to Jerry before the broadcast started. So the broadcast started at 10. I'm in there at 9:30. I'm talking to him, and I did that every week. I remember this true story.
Facts.
I did this one time. I had $16 to my name, and I paid $15 to get in to 112. I had $1 for a week. You know what I'm saying? I lived off $1 for a week. Yeah, true story.
It's just true story. That's what I like about it. Like, it's just, you got $1.
I got $1. I got the $1, the gas that's in my car, and the groceries that's in my crib. That's it. That's what I got for a week. And so he finally was like, all right. I was like, let me just take you. Can we sit down and eat sometime or something like that? My treat.
With $1.
You know what I'm saying? I got, with my little dollar. He was fine. He was finally like, yeah, we went. I remember his assistant set it up. We went to Houston's in Buckhead. I remember the tab was $60, and I literally paid. I ain't no money, but I paid. It was what it was.
You understand? I got to invest in. You really investing in.
I was, and now when I hear people talk about that stuff now, I'm like, yo, like I was doing this before I even knew this was a thing. I was just like, all right. I thought he was gonna pay the bill. He didn't.
So I had to.
It's cool. But Jerry's a great guy. He gave me a chance. And I remember he called me. He was like, look, I'm not gonna hire you, but I'm gonna give you an internship. I'm gonna let you skip promotions where it's like hanging banners and going out and stuff like that. I'm gonna let you go straight to programming.
That's hard.
I was like, cool.
That's hard.
And so I interned with the night show, 6 to 10 with K Sly and ET. ET's still on air in Atlanta right now. And I remember I went in and I was like, I'm gonna be undeniable. That I'm not stopping until I am 100%.
Yeah.
This is gonna be my career path for life.
Thanks.
And so I became part of the night show at that point. And then I remember Scoo finally convinced him to drop out, right? And so he drops out.
So you convincing people to drop out of school?
He wasn't going nowhere, and I knew that. Okay, like he knew he wasn't graduating. He knew he wasn't going nowhere, bro. Like, he knew that. Yeah. So he come up. He
knew that.
I knew that. So he come up. He get a job at Verizon, and so like I got in good with it. They loved me up there at that time. Like I'm this young kid, 22 years old, 21, 22, however old I was at the time, and everybody loved me up there because I did everything. You know what I'm saying? Like. And I did everything with a good attitude. I remember the first time I went in there, I was just on air. Second time I went in there, Jerry was like, oh, I'm not putting you on air today. I want you to alphabetize my CDs. And I was like, cool. Like, I ain't look no way. I'm like, I'm here.
Grinding.
I'm here, bro.
Yeah.
And so I alphabetized his CD. It was a whole wall of CDs. I alphabetized them. And I got done. I went back in his office. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm done. Anything else? What's next, bro? And I always said that was a test.
Yeah.
He wanted to see, like, he put me on air the first day, wanted to inflate my ego a little bit, and then bring me down to earth the second day. I wasn't no down to earth. I was already down there, brother. I'm making $720.
Loyal in that sense.
I'm working for free at the radio station. I'm making $7.25 in the morning, the mailbox, etc. I'm on earth, brother. Like, my ego ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what it is. And so after that, everything was good. They loved me up there. I got Scoo promotions internship. He comes up to fill out the paperwork at the radio station, and the promotions director goes into labor. She was pregnant at the time she went into labor. So he didn't get his internship. And so after that, we was like, there were some changes being made up there and stuff, and they were going to change over the night show. The main host, K Slice, she was leaving for Vegas at the time. And shout out to K and ET, man. They really like rode for me.
We giving everybody their flowers.
They really rode for me.
You wouldn't be here.
No,
you know
I would not. And so I was like, all right, maybe it's time for me to like see what's out there and come back. And so Scoo would come. We would wait. Our PD Jerry was a workaholic, bro. He was there all times of night. And I remember I'd get off air at 10 o'clock. I would do some production stuff. And I'm just like waiting for Scoop's sitting in the parking lot waiting for this man to leave so I can bring him up there and we can record our air check. We can get us a new air check out there. So that's what we did every night. Was like, and then for a long time, my schedule for that year in Atlanta that I was there, my schedule was I would wake up. I lived in Marietta. I worked in Jonesboro, which is opposite sides of.
I love Marietta too. That's one of my favorite places in Atlanta.
And I grew up in Clayton County, and that was on the south side. So I would drive every morning from the north side to the south side to go to work, and then I would work until what time? What time would I? I would go into the radio station at like 2, and I would answer phones for the afternoon show. I would be on air. From 6 to 10, I would do production after that, and then on Friday nights I would DJ at the World Bar, and that was my day every day. I would get up at 6, drive to Jonesboro, and then just make my way back up to the north side, lay my head in Marietta at 1, 2 o'clock whenever I got done with everything, and then Friday nights I would DJ at the World Bar. I would work from 10 to 5, and then we'd drive down to Statesboro, which is 3 hours south of Atlanta, and I would get back from there. I would drive down there, DJ, and then I would come right back. Yeah. I would get home at like 7 a.m. and I would sleep all day Sunday. And then I had a shift on the radio from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So that was my schedule for years.
So you was hired way before Scooby.
Yeah, I was hired in Atlanta before Scooby. Yeah. So I'm doing all this. I wasn't even making no money at the radio station. The internship, it was free. I ain't even paid it. I made $150 the whole time I was up there. I was just grinding. I was just up there. Doing whatever I felt I needed to do.
That's a test. That's why I got you here, Dola, just to make these people understand. It's a grind.
It's a grind, bro. Especially in those younger days, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I respect your position.
Especially in those younger days. And so Scoo would come up and we would send out our air check. And that station that we originally were trying to get on, it eventually shut down. And they moved they moved one of the air talents. Her name was Kiki, the First Lady.
And shout out to Kiki the First Lady. We giving our flowers out today. You know what I'm saying?
And so Kiki, they moved Kiki from there and gave her the PD at the Beat. She was the first PD at the Beat. And somebody I knew her, Tanya, she's the I think the executive producer of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show now. So shout out to Tanya Beyonce. Beyonce, what up? Without you, I wouldn't be here. She hit Kiki up and was like, Kiki was like, yeah, send our air check. And we had a fire air check. Like I don't know if you ever worked on something that you're like, I've got something here. I know this is gonna get me a job. We sent out 4 air checks and packages and stuff like that. We got 2 job offers, Nashville and Macon, Georgia.
What is air checks? Is that like
It's like 5 minutes of what you sound like on the radio. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
So we sent out 4 and we got 2 job offers, one in Macon, Georgia, and the other in Nashville. And no offense to Macon, Georgia, but Nashville is a much better city, a bigger city, a bigger
that's
market.
What I want to know, how you pick Nashville over Macon, Georgia?
Yeah. But Macon is an hour. The tempting part about Macon was it's an hour south of Atlanta where we grew up. And so like everything it would have been a very safe move. But Macon also offered us $17,500 to split.
Oh, wow.
And Nashville offered us $17,500 each.
We in Nashville.
Yeah, we in Nashville. And like the facility was better. Like it was just, and Nashville's just a bigger, better city. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. And that's how we got here.
Okay, and so this is what I want to ask you, just to hop into that. Like, why do you think radio stations in Nashville hire more people from outside of Nashville?
That's a good question. And I think, and I don't know that it's
not that I'm messed up with it.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I really appreciate Dolewite and Scooby.
I honestly think it's because a lot of like let's say like Crisis for instance. Crisis was on radio for a long time.
Most definitely.
He went to TSU and kind of ran his DJing, ran Overflow from TSU, Black Rob, Crisis, that whole crew. It went from just TSU parties to Nashville parties.
Most definitely.
And so now this kid is that guy in Nashville. Yeah. So like, I'm gonna hire the guy in Nashville. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes sense, right? So I think it has to do with that. And honestly, like, with the exception of maybe, I'm trying to think of people that are from Nashville that truly wanted to do this. And other than Avriana, like I'm blanking. And if I'm cutting somebody out, I'm sorry. I have a horrible memory. Let me say that.
This ain't personal.
This is not personal. Yes, this is not personal at all.
We in the mix.
I know there's somebody. I'm gonna be like, oh my God, my bad, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But it hasn't been many people that just really wanted to do this from Nashville.
And this is what I want to say. First of all, I want to say this. Shout out to Dolewite and Scooby. Has always played Nashville music.
Yeah.
Has always played Nashville music. I say this, and I say this in confidence. They have played the hits of Nashville.
And that's the thing when we get to talk about like independent records, period, be it if they're from Nashville or not. I always ask people, well, what should the criteria be? Because it can't be just that I like it. I like a lot of stuff. It doesn't mean that other people are going to like it. You know what I'm saying? Like our goal, the business model of what we do is for people to tune in while they're in their car, headed home from work, headed to run their errands, whatever it is, and to play the records that we know that they like. And our company spends a lot of money figuring out who our listeners are and the songs that they like. So it's not about whether or not I like your music or not. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you have a hit,
I
got to play it.
So what's the criteria of Dolewite? And I'm talking about Dolewite and Scooby. I can't move of Dolewite and Scooby playing somebody from Nashville.
I would say if we're in a spot and a record drops and it's an independent artist from Nashville and the club knows that song and there's 500 people in there and they singing it word for word, I'm like, we need to be playing this. You know what I'm saying? We need to be playing this record in some form. Whether it's a mix show or somewhere, we need to find room for this record. And now it's different because back then when we first got here, it's like you had to come to radio.
Yeah.
If you want to be an artist, you got to come to radio no more. This is where you come to finish. This is where you come when you've got to a point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I used to beg Lito for records. I'd be like, bro, send me a record. He'd be like, man, I don't really want to do radio. I'm like, bro, like, send me a record. You ain't got to do nothing but like press send on an email. Like, send me a record. You know what I'm saying? And so like it's with him and that blueprint that he laid, it's really like, so how many artists have come after Lito that have followed his footsteps and done it the same way he did it? He just did it first.
What made you start that relationship with Starlito? Like, I think because you guys are pretty close. Shout out to Faye Eastwood.
Yeah, Faye's my guy, man.
I want to shout out to Faye.
Faye is a legend, bro.
I love you. You're a legend. You'll be here real soon. And just one of the most humblest guys.
Nah, Faye's my dog, bro. Faye's my brother forever.
And so how did that relationship, and I just want to talk about it with Faye and Lito because it was all kind of like together.
Yeah, and Faye and I ended up having have had a brotherhood and a friendship since.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like it's my guy.
I know.
So Lito, I think when Grey Goose dropped, I mean I didn't know Lito prior to Grey Goose, and then Grey Goose was one of, if not the biggest Nashville record
Yeah,
ever.
One of them.
One of them. Top
And,
3.
Well, you can say top 2.
Top 2.
You can probably put it in top 2.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna go on record and say this. My number 1 hit Nashville will always be Quanie. All
right, that's fair.
This why I'm putting Buck at 3, because Buck is an international artist. But my second Nashville record is Grey Goose.
Grey Goose is, bro. I can still recite Grey Goose. Man. To this day, we played it so much. The lyrics are still in my head to this day. To this day.
Dolewite, give me your. I have to put you in this position.
I knew this was coming too. I'm prepared for this because I knew this was coming.
Okay. Give me your top 5 Nashville artists.
All right, so I can tell you 100% 4 off the top of my head since I've been here.
Go for
and this is no disrespect to anybody that was before. I came here in December 2001, and I can speak from then.
Go right there. I'm trying to get you to go right there.
Yeah, from then on, it is Quanie, Buck, Lito, Paper.
Woo.
Easy.
Woo.
Easy. From 2001 to right now, that's it.
Now that's deny that.
And I don't want to seem like
Cool Daddy Fresh. This ain't about that.
Right.
We're talking about
Cool Daddy Fresh and Pistol was before I got here. And Pistol had some records when I was here, but like his biggest run was before I got here. Right. Cool Daddy Fresh was before I got here, so I wasn't here to see those movements.
What's up? Nah.
I respect what they did, and I honor what you guys are legends, and I've heard about, but I just wasn't here for it. I was here for Quanie. I was here for Paper. I was here for Buck. I was here for Lito.
What's the relationships with you with those artists?
I think it's all good for all. Like, honestly, like, I love what Quanie does now.
Oh,
I love the role model that he's become. I love the word that he preaches.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love that Lito's still doing
Lito
whenever. I love the fact that Lito's in a.
He's an introvert.
I love
he's not an introvert with us.
Yeah,
but I love
I love the fact that he's also like. He's built a fan base where he can take a couple years off, and then just
come
back and be like, I'm dropping records. People are like, hell yeah, like dropping records, like, you know what I'm saying. So Lito is always love. Same with Buck. You know what I'm saying.
Shout out to Buck,
always love and City. I mean.
That's your guy. That's just what you got.
It's everybody's guy, isn't it? Like, it's
shout out to the New Year's Eve party. City Paper and Buck.
Yeah,
went down.
I'm sure I saw the videos, man.
It went down. It was legendary, and so shout out to that. But and so with you, Dola, like, how do you feel Nashville have treated you since you've been here? Dolewite and Scooby. I'm still talking about Dolewite and Scooby.
It's love, bro. I will never not get a little emotional when I think about when Scoo passed and the way that the city like uplifted me. I've never seen it out.
We have never fell in love with nobody until y'all.
Bruh,
like, everybody else was just kind of like.
I never felt. I can't even describe it. Like, and it's funny you asked that because a couple weeks ago, like on December, I can't remember if I posted it the 10th or the 12th, but I posted something on Instagram and I fed it to my Facebook page. It was just about me being here for 22 years. And I said at the end of it, I was like, you know, if Nashville is your home, if you're from Nashville, I hope that whether you still live here or not, that when you pull up and you turn me on the radio, that I sound like you're home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you turn me on, like, that's the voice that I grew up with. And so, you know, it did well on Facebook, or it did well on Instagram, and I didn't even check the Facebook stats on it.
Yeah.
I checked it a couple days later. I just happened to be on my, I still have the Dolewite and Scooby Facebook page. Like, it's still Dolewite and Scooby on Facebook. I never changed the name of it.
It ain't gonna never change.
Yeah, I'll never change it. No. And I'll have that same picture that we took 11 years ago. Like, you know, I don't look like that no more, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
You still look young.
I mean, it's the last pics that Scoob and I took together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep that up there. But anyway, it went, I think, like, it had like 600 shares on it of people writing. People were sharing. And I went through every one of them shares. Yeah, I went through every one of them shares, and people were writing and things that they were writing. It had 300-400 comments on it, and it had almost 6,000 likes on it. It had been seen by like 200,000 people, and I was like, bro, like, come on, man, like it it's just sometimes you need those validations when you've been doing this for a long time.
I don't care who you are. Sometimes you need
You
that
need to see it. You need it.
validation.
You do.
I don't care who you are. Like, only perfect one with Jesus. And I just always say that because you need that validation of like, yeah, I'm really one of them ones.
Yeah, you know like I've worked hard for this, and this has happened for me.
Okay, top 5 DJs.
Oh, that's tough, man.
Hold on. And
so I saw all the other stuff about the New Year's Eve thing that the city did.
I want to talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Before we go to that, because we're talking about that right there. Dola, and you can whoever top 5 DJs. All right,
first of all, it starts and ends with C-Wiz, bro. Like, he is the king. He is the absolute king.
My favorite DJ ever in life.
Yeah, he is the absolute. He is the absolute, like,
he's the best. He's just the city's.
He is that guy. He will always that guy. They should build a statue of him somewhere in the city. Like, C-Wiz is, and here's the thing about C-Wiz that's he is every other DJ's uncle in the city. And no matter it be people that, like, my personality don't mesh with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing against anybody.
I think it do.
But there are some people that I'm just like, that's somebody I'm gonna stay away from.
Okay.
But Wiz be they uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wiz everybody.
Okay, Wiz everybody.
Everybody love Wiz. Wiz love everybody. And Wiz is that guy.
Yeah.
Wiz is that guy.
Wiz is that guy.
God. Why you put me on the spot with the DJs though, bro? Not with the DJs.
Because you're a DJ.
I know.
I
mean, I think that a DJ like Crisis is in there.
That's number 2. I love Crisis.
I think you got to put Scoob and I there.
Woo! It's 4.
No. Me and Scoo count as one. No, you're not doing this.
Okay.
We're not doing this.
Okay, I do 1. All
right.
Okay, that's 3.
All right. You got to put Scoob and I in there.
Wiz, Crisis, Scoob.
CeeLo. Because what CeeLo did with CeeLo could do any crowd, and he did the sexy.
CeeLo.
He does the sexy shit better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like the when you get dressed up and you walk into a spot and you in your best clothes, you hoping CeeLo's.
This last one is a test of your faith. This last one, you got one more DJ. This right here gonna put you one more.
I'm gonna say. And no disrespect to any DJ, because I could go on. I could name 20.
Everybody great. I know.
I'm gonna say R.I.P. to Brian D. and give Brian D his flowers, brother. Because Brian, let me tell you something Brian D did. First of all, this man stayed working.
Give Brian D his flowers right now.
This man stayed working for years, and not only did he stay working, he learned an entire genre of music. Of a language that I don't know that he understood when he started playing the music. He learned the reggaeton shit and could do that and could still go to any club and do what we did. So I got to give Brian D his flowers too. R.I.P. to Brian D.
To me.
If I forgot you, I apologize.
I'm going to do a honorary for this one person, DJ. And this just me. DJ Rage.
Rage is my guy, bro. I almost like...
Now I know you was in the.
That's my guy. It's my dude. Man.
No,
yeah, you did.
We gonna just add him in.
Rage is a talented dude, man. He can spin. He get it going.
The 2 top DJs, and I have to do this for 615, and I'm gonna keep y'all in there. The 2 top DJs 615 is DJ Rage and Dolewite and Scooby.
I appreciate that, brother.
No matter what, we talk about Club 615.
Oh,
we just
yeah.
All the other clubs fine, but Club 615 is the best club that ever hit Nashville, in my opinion.
Right.
And the 2 DJs that came in there and showed out with Rage and Dolewite. I want to talk about the 50 years of hip hop.
Yes.
And I want to talk about why Kenny Smooth was there and Dolewite went there.
I don't think Kenny Smooth had anything to do. I got number love for Kenny. Kenny is a great dude.
Me and Kenny talk back and forth.
Yeah, it's my guy.
Why wouldn't Dolewite? We're not even talking about the artist because that's a whole nother. But why wouldn't Dolewite, the king of hip hop, that has played all the hip hop, that has played all the Nashville artists, and the DJ that we love, wasn't on their 50 years? I
don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I say like this though, man. Like to me, like
no shot to Kenny Smooth.
No. I think that I mean, I think first of all, to me, Wiz should have been on there before I would be on there. If you're talking DJs and stuff like that, Wiz should have. It should have started with Wiz.
Should have
started with Wiz.
And then why I didn't say Wiz because you are radio.
Right.
You're right. But go ahead.
But bro, it should have started with Wiz. And it's crazy to me because I feel like for the first time, the city of Nashville talked about hip hop. They had never done that before.
That's what I was.
But so that's the good part about it, right?
That's the good part about it.
But the bad part is like, bro,
y'all didn't have nobody.
Y'all didn't have Buck, Lito, Quanie, or Paper, Pistol, Cool Daddy. Y'all didn't have Wiz. You didn't have me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what happened?
I don't know.
We are so disappointed in that.
And I love the artists. I love Tim Gent and I love Daisha McBride. I love both of the artists that they put on there. And I think if you have those other artists on it, they deserve to be there too. Because they are what they're doing, they're getting placements on all kinds of shit. Daisha went crazy last year. I love Daisha. Daisha can rap her ass off. I love Daisha McBride, bro. Tim Gent, I love Tim Gent. I really do. The caveat to that is you can't, if you're talking 50 years of hip hop, you're talking history, and there was no history on it.
Again, Joe Major, no shout out to you. Shout out to Joe Major. I love Joe Major.
I can tell.
Dolewite ain't white, and he from Nashville. To us,
you know what though? You know, with the from Nashville thing, like the only thing that I still have to this day that I keep from Atlanta, my phone number's been the same since then. It's still a 404 area code. And my love for the Atlanta Falcons.
I had your number before.
Yeah,
It's still
the 4. Yeah.
Good.
And my love for the Atlanta Falcons. Everything else, I'm Nashville. If you think about it, you break down my life, I've spent more time here than I did there.
Yeah, off the top.
You know what I'm saying? So I am from Nashville at this point. Somebody's like, where you from? I grew up in Atlanta, but I'm from Nashville. I've been here 22 years, bro.
Everybody for their 50th, and we are shunning that 50th hip hop. But I swear to God, Dolewite, everybody said this. Buck and Dolewite was supposed to be on this show. And of course, we totally get that. But Dolewite has been the king of playing hip hop
in Nashville.
You have played the artist that's hot. I always tell these artists is you can't get mad because the radio station ain't playing you because you think your song is good. The people have to say your song is good.
Yes, they do. That's the thing. It's like we know certain things. Like there's so much research that goes in, so much science that goes into what we do now. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And we know our listeners' habits. We know who they are. And so like the question is I always ask artists this is, how do you make people care whether or not I'm playing your song?
Yeah. Facts.
How do you make people care?
Because y'all still gotta get the ratings.
I have to.
I
have to. And if I don't, they're gonna get somebody in there that does. I'm gonna be out quick.
That's your job.
Yeah, that's my job.
Again,
it's my job.
I always explain to these guys about I've been in tune with these people who work radio stations. Mm-hmm. They still have a job to do.
And this is the other question I always ask artists too. If I said, all right, I'm gonna play your record, what good does that do you that one radio station in the entire country is playing your record?
And none of them else ain't.
And none of you're not getting any. If people in Nashville already know you and I play your record, it's cool. And I get that, like, yo, I heard my song on the record.
Ain't nobody got that. That ain't nobody new, really. That ain't no new fans.
Right. So if you're really trying to grow and you really want your record on radio, you got to do a nationwide campaign. You need to be on all the stations. That should be your goal. And if that's not your goal, if you don't have that budget yet, because that's going to take you a lot of money to do that. If you don't have that, then you need to focus on step by step building it. How do we get one person to listen to stream my song? How do I get, all right, I got one. Let me go to two. Let me go to 3. Let me multiply this thing. How do I do that? Once you do that, everything else will fall into place. If people want to hear you, we will come and find you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's our job. Like
you guys, and you know I follow all your stuff. I love all y'all stuff. You guys put out a quota the other day, and it was I think it was you, Zach Bug, all the radio personalities, and you guys was talking about who are you playing or something like.
It was your top 5 songs. Mine was a joke, by the way.
Okay,
Like,
that was good. Okay, okay. So, but for Dola,
I took a bullet. I was like, I'm gonna make this go. I told the team, I was like, I'm gonna make this thing. I'm gonna have people in there like insulting me, but I'm gonna take one so this post does well.
But for Dola, if Dola, if you can't pay number 5 artists on your set every night for the rest of your life,
that's tough.
Who are the 5 artists
on the radio?
Are you playing on radio?
On radio.
At one-on-one.
I mean,
who
at
are
one
the 5 artists?
If I'm gonna keep people listening, keep people engaged.
That's what
all right. If that's my goal,
that's your goal.
Drake is number 1.
Most definitely,
because
he's gonna go.
I don't know if you've heard the radio station lately, but we play a lot of Drake. But we play a lot of Drake because our listeners
love Drake.
Love Drake, bro. There's nothing I can do about that. You know what I mean? So Drake would be number 1 for sure.
Okay.
God, that's a tough question. Because it begins and ends with Drake.
Drake number 2, 3, 4, 5.
Drake.
Okay, but
Drake. Dylon. Remember the Chappelle skit? Drake. I would say right now you're looking at Drake, probably Future.
Okay. Ooh, that's gonna work.
Yeah, Future makes hits, bro. Future makes hits. Almost 10 years ago, I would have said Lil Wayne, easy.
That's 3.
Yeah.
Still?
I'd say give it a Wayne. Yeah. Am I going Cardi? I'm trying to think of the year Cardi had. I might go Cardi.
That's 4.
Cardi's a star.
She is no matter what.
No matter what she's doing.
No matter what.
And you know what I love about Cardi, bro, is like whether I agree with her or not, you know she ain't bullshitting. she for real.
Cardi is the truth.
She whatever she's saying, she believes it. Whether it's right or wrong, whatever she she means it.
Yeah, well, definitely.
I love that about Cardi.
Okay, so it's Drake, Lil Wayne, Cardi,
Future,
and one more.
Who is on the radio this year? I have to look at the playlist. Cole's had a big year. Dirk's had a big year. Damn, that's a tough question. I need my notes right now.
You just got one more.
Let me look at my phone.
Go ahead. Hey, take your time because I got a game that I'm finna play after this, and I'm gonna probably use some of those artists that you put in that sector. So I mean, choose your last one wisely.
That's what I'm trying. Killed me with this question. I mean, Chris Brown's got huge hits. It might be Chris Brown. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me keep looking.
I love Chris. I think that was a good choice.
It might be Chris. It might be Chris. SZA's had a huge year.
I love SZA.
Oh my God, little baby.
You got one.
All right, so hold on. We might redo this now. Okay. All right, so it's gonna be Drake. It'll be Drake, Lil Baby.
Okay.
Bag.
Okay. Ooh, Bag. Ooh, I love Bag.
Bag's
been down.
Yeah, Bag's been making
Drake,
hits, man.
Lil Baby, Bag.
And I'm gonna go SZA and Chris Brown.
Okay. Now I play a game.
That's tough.
And this is gonna be real hard on you. Because I like the people you pick. I play a game called Pick a Side.
Okay.
And Dolewite, you have never been a loser in your life in my sight.
I appreciate
You've always been a king, and you know what I'm saying, you always did the right thing. So if these 2 people are doing the verses, who's winning? SZA or Chris Brown?
Chris Brown, right now.
Chris Brown right now.
In 3 more years, it might be SZA, but right now it's Chris Brown.
Good. Okay. I like that answer. So if these 2 people are doing the verses, who's winning?
All right.
Moneybagg Yo or Lil Baby? I know.
I'm gonna go.
It's Atlanta and Tennessee, the 2 places that you love. 2 places that you love.
I'm gonna go Baby.
Cool. Let's go, Lil Baby.
Okay. That was
I'm
tough.
disappointed.
That was hard.
I
don't know, man. I don't know.
Tennessee
you can sway me to pick Bag, bro. Like, you can do that. I could be talked into it.
You gonna be Tennessee. You ain't been that long. I respect that answer. And so one more. This right here, and I'm gonna do 2 more, but I want to do this one. And this one is gonna put you in a rock and a hard place. If we're doing a versus, And these two guys, at the highest status they are performing, and Dolewite is the #1 judge.
I know what this
and
is.
you have to judge it.
Okay.
Lil Wayne or Drake. You have to beat the. This is
hard. But being a numbers guy and seeing the numbers that I've seen on Drake, I gotta go Drake.
Woo-hoo.
And that's hard.
He beat his CEO out.
Yeah, I think so. I think when you look at what this guy has done,
Okay, most definitely.
and I'm not.
I think he's done better than Pac. I think he's done better than Tupac. That's just my opinion.
Numbers wise, he has.
Okay.
And that's a hard. There's been nobody like him since maybe Michael Jackson. Numbers wise, if you're talking about just moving units, ain't nobody been and had radio on lock. Not just radio, not just hip hop radio. This man has had pop hits.
Apple Music.
Yeah,
everything is just.
Yeah, this man has had pop hits. He is that guy for this entire generation. Since
I got this one, and I want you to this gonna be a little different. If these two people are in a versus, and you have to pick one, are you picking Billie Eilish or Beyonce?
Beyonce.
That's what's
We ain't gonna get me cursed out by my listeners, brother.
I'm trying to get Dolewite in trouble here.
You trying to get me assassinated on the way out, ain't it? The answer is always Beyonce.
Scooby to Dola today.
You know what I'm saying?
But no, the good picks. I just I love when DJs give me assessment of artists, because you guys are in there every day. And so this one, we're gonna do a major versus right here.
Right.
And I want you can think this out. This ain't gonna be hard for you.
Okay.
We're doing a new versus right here.
Okay.
Like, this is some Tim, and y'all might need to pick this up in Swiss Beats. If you're doing 5 people from Texas, give me your 5 top stars from Texas that you're putting in the verses against Atlanta. Give me your 5 from Texas.
I mean, obviously, Bun and Pimp.
Ooh.
That's starts and ends there.
Okay.
Right? So I'd say Bun and Pimp.
You can pick girls, whoever. We're looking at Texas.
Yeah.
Bun and Pimp.
Bun and Pimp. Easy.
Okay.
First 2. This is a weird one for me because it's not he's an artist that shows up and sells out arenas. I've just never understood it.
Okay.
But I respect it.
Well, definitely.
Travis Scott.
Ooh, that's 3. Come on.
Yeah.
That's top dog.
Yeah, no, it's that guy.
Okay, it's that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy. I mean, Megan.
Bo.
Is it
She coming with.
Is it any artist or are they rappers?
It's any artist, no.
Oh, yeah, I mean Beyonce.
Okay. If you
Beyonce, I don't think Atlanta has a chance that Beyonce's in this.
So we're doing Pimp C, Bun B, Megan, Beyonce, and Travis Scott. Come on.
I don't know that I can.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Okay, so now they're going against Atlanta.
Okay.
The 5 Atlanta, who they's going against?
I mean, Andre.
And
Big Boy.
2.
Obviously.
Most definitely.
Future.
3.
Lil Baby.
You got one more. You got Jeezy, you got T.I.
But Beyonce makes it unfair because there's no Beyonce.
She does make it.
Usher, yeah. But Usher's technically. Here's the thing about Usher, though.
Ooh.
Here's the thing about Usher.
Ooh.
Usher
That made it fair.
Do you count? Do you say he grew up most of his life in Atlanta?
No, that makes it fair.
All right. I don't know. Usher versus Beyonce, though. It's just, I guess maybe his fans.
No, that kind of make it fair.
Yeah, it does.
Dolo.
That does. All right. Kind of lines up.
You know what I'm saying? He just doing more intimate venues than Beyonce, but that kind of make it. That is the only person that got huge hits like Beyonce. Yeah. So, man, look. Me and Dola did this.
Yeah.
Tim and Swiss, when y'all start these all-star cities, me and Dola, we started this. So shout out to y'all. And so Dola, I want you to encourage the hip hop community because I know everybody's trying to make it in the rap business, and Nashville, for some reason, we ain't got it all the way together. Like, what do we need to do to make sure that we're kind of getting in?
I think one is unity.
Okay, most definitely.
I think one is unity, and I think the other is building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, build those relationships with not necessarily me, because I'm a little harder to find now than I was, 15 years
You got to
ago.
be me to find them.
But start, yeah.
If you're allowed to subscribe.
But start with the DJs, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I always say that, man. Like, start with the DJs and listen to what they're telling you, because I use this analogy for radio all the time. But it's the same for DJs in the club. I use a club analogy for radio all the time. Like, if you're in a club and I'm going in and it's 1 a.m. and it's the climax, I'm giving you hit after hit after hit. The club's going crazy, and you come up to me like, "Hey, play my song." That nobody in this building knows.
I can't do it.
What happens to the crowd if I do? Everybody's looking at me like,
you're putting your job on the line.
I put my job on the line, and that energy's going. And then I have to build this thing back up again if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Because once that energy's gone, it's hard to get it back.
It's hard
I'm saying
to
that from somebody who's fucked up quite a few times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know. And so I use that analogy for radio all the time, because radio is always, it's always like thinking that we're at the climax of the club. You know what I'm saying? But so listen to DJs. So what I used to always tell artists when they come in, I'm like, yeah, I'll either play you at the very beginning of my set or the very end of my set.
Yeah.
And my set is ending when and I always said the best time is when people, when it's time to go, and club owners like, "Hey man, get everybody out of here. Like, stop." You know what I'm saying? Enough.
We're done. Crunk all night.
We're ready to go.
Yeah. Tune them down. That's what they used to say.
Yeah. And that is the time when you want to strike and be like, "Hey bro, slip the DJ some money, whatever you got to do."
Facts.
Put my record on now. Because everybody getting ready to leave. People gonna stay around. They gonna hear it.
Yeah.
So that's always a good one. But build relationships with the DJs. You know what I'm saying? Go buy them a drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go hard on them to be like, play my shit all night, because a good DJ knows that if they play your shit, it's gonna clear the dance floor. And that doesn't mean your song sucks. It just means they don't know it. They don't know it. Yeah. It's all about familiarity. You know what I'm saying? They don't know it. So build relationships with the DJs, and also, hey, look, man, I don't understand. I don't claim to understand all of everything, all the nuances of online platforms, but try your best to get playlists that, Spotify playlists and Apple Music. Try to, however you get on those. I don't know how to do it. Yeah. I can't tell you how to do it, but do it. Do it.
And that'll kind of build it up, because and back to this is really small, but you just brought it up. C-Wiz, Rage, anybody will tell you to today, when I see them in the club, the first thing I do, I don't do music, but the first thing I do, what y'all drinking?
The relationship is there.
Then what C-Wiz and Dad Dre always tell me, this on record.
Yeah.
Oh, P, we ain't drinking that much. What? I'm sending y'all some in Rage, just the same way. And those relationships, the relationship I got with you, just through business, got you here, I think.
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you ain't coming to anybody podcast. Dolewite. And this is what I want to shout out to. For some reason, my mind is just with the women of Nashville.
Okay.
And for you to show up for Avriana and Shell Fox and Blazing B and Sweet Poison and Mimi to go, like, I want to give you.
You tell you what I love about Avriana.
Okay, come on. I love her.
She persistent, and she reminds me a lot of myself when I was coming up and hungry. Okay. Cause she gonna, I'll be like, Avriana, I'll come, remind me, and she will remind me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like she showing up to my shit. You are coming.
You showing up to my shit.
Right. I'm gonna be here. I'll be there. I promise you. I'll be there. And that's why I love. And I love how passionate she is about everything.
She is.
She
man.
like really does have that passion.
And first when they hired her at 101, whatever they was doing, she kept telling, she's like, P, Dolewite got my back. And I'm telling her, like, hey, Brian, I've been knowing Dolewite when you was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't nothing new for Dolewite.
Yeah.
Because Dolewite has really had our back. Not saying Dolewite have done everything right and had no hooks and curves. And Dolewite has had problems with artists and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But for the 90% most part, Dolewite had our back. Quanie was on their radio station for 9 years.
Yeah.
The person that we actually, I'm gonna just tell you with Quanie, this just me. It's Jesus then the Quanie.
I feel you.
It's Jesus. And that ain't just, he'll tell you like, that guy, he has been a true soldier for Nashville all his life.
Yeah.
And that's why I respect him. So, man, I appreciate you coming, Dolewite. Can you give the people some kind of encouragement for the new year before we go?
I mean, look, I just always tell people, man, like, listen to your, something we tell my daughter all the time is listen to your body. Your body tells you everything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you're feeling worn down, take a rest, you know, drink your water. But also, like, find what it is you truly love. And if you find yourself not truly loving anything, try some new shit.
Facts.
Try some new shit. That's why I always tell people, like, especially like growing up, like we weren't exposed to much, and I didn't have a rough upbringing or anything like that.
But
I'm just saying,
to much.
We weren't exposed to
you was
too
talking
much.
About you had $1.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You weren't exposed to much.
Yeah, I wasn't. Sometimes we weren't exposed to much. So like, I be thinking about that. Like when I go to school and talk to kids and shit. Like these kids like might really enjoy cooking. They might want to become a chef, but ain't nobody ever talk to them about being a chef before.
School, but ain't nobody never said,
hey, there's all this shit you can do with your life, and you can really find something that you're passionate about. So go find it.
Man, look, if you're alive, subscribe. I bought Dola here. I didn't bring him to question him and all that. I bought him here to give him his flowers because I don't think we give them to you enough.
I appreciate
what I'm saying?
that, man. I really do.
And for all you have done for the rap community, nobody can say if they song was hot, you and Scooby didn't play it.
I agree with that.
Nobody can. Guess what? I feel so good when I could just walk up in the radio station. Not that they had to ask anybody. It was like, yeah, come on up and pay us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though it was about money most of the time. Even when I had the little girls, stilettos in the club. Every time I brought an artist here, Dolewite Scoo like, we come upstairs, like, we're going to put them on the radio for the show. We're going to make sure people is at the show. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you for that, Dolewite, man. Appreciate you for coming. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. Like, I totally understand you won't do this for everybody.
But not show up in person.
Did not show up in person.
I'll do it in line. Like over the camera or something like that. You know?
If you're alive, subscribe. This is me. Shout out to Dolewite again.